Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are joining us from today. Thanks for joining. I'm Natalie Salser. I am the head of channel marketing for Cumulocity, and joining me today we have Bart Schauer, VP of Global Alliances, and Christian Zitta, our manager of our ecosystem. We are so excited to have you here for our first Pathfinder partner update call. It's been about 6 months since we launched our partner program, and we're excited to give you some of the updates that you can expect, that you've been seeing, and that we're excited to work with you on. I'm happy to introduce you first to Bart Schauer, who will be leading in the introduction of all of the great things that have been coming out of the Pathfinder program the first 6 months of this year. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Bart.
Yes, thank you so much, Natalie. Welcome everyone to our first webinar in the Pathfinder partner calls, and I hope we have many more. So first things first, and I want to introduce you again to our partner team. And most of us will be presenting today. Unfortunately, Keshav is ill today and can't speak, but we have Christian with us. On the left-hand side, you can see Christian Joite, was the device partner manager, and Keshav was unfortunately not there. Me in the middle, and then Natalie on the right. And we'll all be speaking to you and informing you about all the great updates and the highlights that we have achieved and the future topics that we want to address together with you. Cool. So the agenda. So I think we have already engaged into the welcome, and today what we have for you to discuss is our achievements and highlights, the introduction to the changes of the Pathfinder program, the marketing update by Natalie, the device partner update by Christian. So, in the achievement and highlights, well, first things first, as you have recognized, we have a new Cumulocity since the 1st of January. We're not longer part of Software AG, but we have really rebranded ourselves and started with a big splash. So Cumulocity is now an independent company. It's called officially Cumulocity GmbH, and we are very excited to be as this kind of a scale up in the market. I'm saying scale up because we're already with 300 people and we have 1,000 active customers worldwide. And if you think about it, on our tenants worldwide, we have 25 million connected devices. Well, some will say, hey, that's not too much, but think about it. These are not about consumer connected devices. These are industrial grade connected devices. So I think that's pretty impressive. Yeah, and we're on a good path of growth. And I think the fantastic thing is that we now have a clear focus. So after embarking from Software AG, we can really focus on the things that really are close to our heart, and that is the Internet of Things and driving innovation together with you. And I think many of the messages that we'll have to you today are underlining this. Some things don't change. We have an international team and we have a global reach in our operations. We are already available in 20 countries or with our offices, and hopefully that will expand going further. Later on, I will have a slide also with the reach that we have through you as a partner, and I think that's even more impressive. But rest assured that we can give global coverage in a 24/7 approach. So let's step back a bit and talk about why did we do this management buyout now? So why are we going independent? And why are we so excited about it? And basically, we think there is a perfect wave shaping. And the perfect wave for IoT has to do with these emerging trends. And first and foremost, we think that IoT has been a hype already for nearly a decade. But now we see some trends emerging that make it in such a way that IoT is to professionalize in a way, because there's emerging legislation which will force companies to rethink their IoT strategy. And in order to adhere to those new strict rules, they have to improve and up the game. And that's where we, together with you, can help. So if you think about the CRA, the Cyber Resilience Act, or the Data Act, these are complicated laws that will really influence how companies have to handle their security and the privacy of the data. And that's something that we can address. Well, the other big wave that we can't ignore is AI. So especially the new generation, generative AI, is going to really radically shape the landscape. We all agree on that. But the one thing that it needs is trusted data. And right now, of course, people love to use ChatGPT and use it in a format to improve the communication and how you speak and how you write documents. But we already see this happening, that is not only interpreting our text, but also interpreting numbers and time series. And if this is going to really take shape, then IoT data is going to be core, and everyone needs to have connected products that can deliver trusted data to enrich those answers of those generative AI applications. And this will lead to a connected ecosystem. In order to give those rich answers, all systems need to be connected, and that will create new business models, and we have to be part of that. And that's an amazing opportunity for the ones that can strike early. And the interesting observation on all this is that people that started very early with IoT, and especially in the homegrown situation, are reconsidering now if they can have to redesign and re-innovate their applications, or actually should transfer to a standard platform. So we see a big move for transformation, and that's a huge opportunity for all of us. So all in all, a perfect wave that's creating a massive opportunity, and I think it is this opportunity that helps us to drive business and what we want to share with you. And so this sparked us to redesign our vision, and our vision is really about making sure that everybody understands where we play and what we deliver. And what we deliver is the best connected, distributed device management system in the world. And that allows you to connect across your enterprise and unlock industrial data. And this is where we focus on, and this is where we see the value, and this is where we need help you to enrich the offering to our customers. And so this creates a beautiful opportunity for all of us to work together and create the best offering that people can find. If you look for our platform, the way we have positioned it in the market, I think this should resonate with you, because we modernized it a bit, but it's still very recognizable. We have our core device connectivity, our device management, our data management, and the analytics in place. You see that we're sprinkling AI on it right now as well, but the core of the story is there. And so it's very easy to understand how we together can create value for our customers. And that's not always easy, let's take that for sure. Especially the ecosystem of an IoT platform is quite big. This should also be something that should be recognizable, but we upgraded a bit, we refined it a bit to make it even more clear how we can play together. And basically what we see on one side is the devices, of course, that have to be connected to the platform, and we want to make it as easy as possible. And Christian will talk later about it as well, about the device certification program, to really make it easy for customers to connect devices with one click. The developer ecosystem to help us to innovate and create a rich experience. Technology partners to really complement the offering and create value across the chain. And we see, for instance, technology partners that have security offerings to really enrich the whole and strengthen the whole platform. And implementation parts, because in the end, this needs to be implemented. It needs to be integrated in a larger ecosystem. And that's where implementation partners, consultancies, and SIs can play a role. As you know, we have a complete certified device program in place for certified devices. what we go reconsidering and reshaping is our validated solutions. That's something that's coming, but we're already putting it there. But we want to emphasize and strengthen this part as well in the upcoming months. Of course, nowadays, one of the fastest growing places to actually transact software is cloud marketplaces. So we did an additional effort to get on a number of marketplaces we haven't been before. We already were on Azure and AWS. We can now also be transacted on Google and at the SAP store. I'll come back to that later. And of course, all this can also be done with resellers and distributors. So all in all, we are completely ready to together build the business. And the good thing, after half a year, I'm so proud to announce that we are already with 75 partners worldwide and still counting. And if you then look at the coverage we have, I took some time to actually to figure out the headquarters of our partners, where they are and which regions they cover. And then you can see that we're really building a strong presence across the globe together. And hopefully in the next presentation, this is growing even further. But pretty impressive like this. Well, one of the highlights for me for the last 6 months was actually our get together at the Hanover Fair. We had a fantastic presence at Hanover Fair, and we had really a fantastic representation of our partners at the booth. And as you can see over here, we had, I think, a very, very successful 4 days at Hanover Messe. We had many leads. Many interesting conversations, and I think it was highly valuable for all partners on the booth to get out there. And what I also got out of this is that many people loved our new branding, and they were excited to see us embarking on a new journey. So hopefully we'll see each other again on next fair like SPS or Hanover. More to follow soon. Good. Then I want to spotlight one particular partner, SAP. And the reason why I want to do that is we all know that SAP is really a big company that has a massive footprint. And we are super proud that SAP actually decided to OEM Cumulocity in their asset performance management platform. What they did, they basically replaced SAP Leonardo, and now they have actively running Cumulocity as the IoT engine in the offering. SAP APM is active with 3,000 customers worldwide, predominantly in oil and gas and chemicals, so in the asset-rich industries. And 300 of them have already decided to transfer to Cumulocity. And that's creating a huge opportunity. It's creating an opportunity for device partners, because if you have certified devices, you will be more relevant to the customers that have chosen for Cumulocity within APM. For technology partners, you can add your own offerings to it as well. And for implementation partners, because this technology has to be integrated into the wider platform of the customers. Let me close this. Apologize for that. So that's a fantastic offering. And not only that, also for if you have customers that are using SAP but not necessarily have the asset performance management APM, what they can do, they can actually request Cumulocity to the SAP store and buy it to the store. And especially if they have a commit with SAP, then that's something that they could use. So a number of offerings over there that they can use. Fantastic. If your customers want to know why SAP choose for Cumulocity to replace Leonardo, here are the 4 main reasons. They love our flexible deployment, and especially because we're hyperscale agnostic. So if a customer wants to run it on AWS or in Google or on Microsoft Azure, that's all possible. or on the GAP cloud, on the SAP cloud for that matter. We really have a brownfield support, so that can also support the existing implementations, which they really like and really have the smooth transition. And then finally, we have this low-code, no-code approach, which will help them to build those integrations and solutions quickly without too much developer interference. Good. Now, with all that excitement going on, we are now already a half year down the road with our Pathfinder Partner Program. This was something that we set up very quickly at the beginning, and we got a lot of good feedback on it, and people are very enthusiastic. So the core of the story, making sure that you have access to our technology for free, for demonstrations and testing purposes, getting access to our learning environment for free to batch and certify, and getting access to our marketing resources to help create joint solution offerings. We're not going to change that. I think it's a very simple offering, and it proves the value of being a partner. So that is going to stay, and we're going to double down on that. What we also don't going to change is our definition of partners. I think we have a very simple and clear definition now, where we have device partners, which focus on hardware. We have technology partners, which have a software first approach. We have implementation partners, which have a development first approach with consultants and engineers and software solution architects. And then we have a channel where we really talk about value-added resellers, marketplaces, and distributors. So that's basically how we have our categories. What we are going to change now is we're going to try to simplify how you go on our journey in our program. So we have the Pathfinder program where we have tiers. And initially we thought, okay, we enroll, you become a generic partner, then you decide what kind of partner you are, and then you decide the commercial road you take, co-sell, resell, or referral. And we found out that that is actually a bit complicated. So in order to make it simple, we brought it back to two questions. Basically, we immediately will design and define the partnership type during enrollment. So what kind of partner do you want to be? Because often that's completely clear. And then as soon as you're enrolled, and this is now going to become mandatory for all new partners that enroll, you have to think about the commercial relationship. And that makes sense, isn't it? Because if we don't have a commercial understanding of our relationship, why should we have the partnership in the first place? There's a small, of course, exception on this for device partners. There it can be that we say, look, it's really irrelevant that we have a certification. There's not a good understanding of how we should actually commercially do that, but having the device certification is a value in itself. So basically what we're saying is for technology implementation and channel partners, it should be a clear understanding what kind of relationship we want. And then it's the device partners, we invite them to build a commercial relationship with us, but that's optional. So it basically comes down to two steps. First, enroll, and you decide on the partnership. And immediately after, you think about, should I have a resell, a co-sell, a referral, or an OEM? And then once you decide on that, your tiering where you are will decide how you will go through it. So for instance, an implementation partner that says, okay, I have a co-sell, you then become an explorer. And if you then make sure that your colleagues are badged and certified, then you will grow in that journey. You will mature in the journey from explorer to pioneer to ranger, and that will increase the commission you can earn. Similarly, for technology partners, if you have a validated solution, then you become a pioneer. And if you have a joint customer success story that we can publish, will make you a ranger. So we really haven't set the bar too high because we want you to succeed and we want you to earn a commission. So what are those commissions? I also try to clarify this, and this will be live from tomorrow morning. From the 1st of August, we'll start on this percentages. Basically, a referral means that you help us to warmly introduce us at a prospect. And from there, you leave it to us to actually get that deal signed. So that gives a small percentage. A co-sell is a referral, a warm introduction, but also help us to influence and accelerate this deal through its life cycle and make sure that we then can close it together. Referrals and co-sales are really commissions that are given to you by us after signing the deal. A resell, as we all know, is that we sell to you and you sell it to your customer, and that's given as a discount. Good. I hope that's clear. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or one of the partner managers. So my call to action, and then I'll hand it over to Natalie. My call to action to you is, if you haven't done so, please think about what you think is the most relevant commercial model to engage with us. Is it this referral, this warm introduction? Is it a co-sell where we jointly go together and we sign on separate paper with the customer? Is this the resell where we actually sell to you and you pass the licenses on? Or might it even be an OEM? Well, whatever it is, please contact us, request the contract through Partner Hub, and we will engage. And with that, I thank you for listening to my part, and I'm handing over to Natalie.
Thank you, Bart. So I'm going to start out. This with everybody's favorite topic, because I'm in marketing. I have to talk about our brand marks, and it's just a friendly reminder that obviously, as we've changed as an organization, the Cumulocity logo has been updated, and while we're diligently looking and reaching out to some partners, we want to make sure that you are aware of how to properly use our new logo. So if you are using any of the following logos on the left-hand side of the screen, we ask that you stop, including the yellow Cumulocity logo on the bottom, because that is reserved actually only for Black backgrounds. So the proper ways to refer to those logos and to access those logos can also be found in Intro in the Marketing Toolkit section. There is a little file called Assets, and if you click on that, you can access all of the different types of logos as well as our brand guidelines. And if you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you and point you in the right direction. And I hope that this is a handy little cheat sheet for you for reference purposes. In addition, we've been trying to get some momentum and very excited on what we've been able to achieve the first 6 months by doing some co-marketing together. And we've had a number of webinars with our partners involved, and we'd like to see that increase. We are creating a new partner solution brief, which tells the story of our joint value proposition. And so if you haven't created one, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment, but I'd love to see you come to me and tell us, let's talk about our story. Let's tell the world what we're doing together, and really create an asset then that you can use in your promotions and in those co-sell motions that Bart mentioned a minute ago. We'd love to join you for webinars. We'd love to create webinars with you. We'd love to create thought leadership with you and go to market. So if you're interested, please do get in touch, because there's a lot to do. And so the way that I would guide you is to say, let's look at creating that partner solution brief, whether we need to focus on a specific product and focus it that way, or talk more generally about how the two of our companies align together. It's a great asset for you to be able to post on your new partner page and your listing on our website, but also on your own website. So please get in touch. Let's make that a first action from a marketing perspective to get those done. And then again, update your new listing on partner pages. some of these have been really built out, and we're excited to get these launched because it's an opportunity for you to present your solution how you would like to. So in the past, we've had only simple logos, or not really any details farther outside of the device section of our partner program. This gives you the control to market yourself. It's also a great thing that when we do marketing programs, we can refer back to your specific pages and assets where they become sort of a mini website. So definitely encourage you to take a few minutes to do that. And then, as I mentioned with the webinars, we're always looking for some great content. And some of the topics that we're really interested in talking about right now are on CRA, the EU Data Act, NIS2, anything with regards to compliance and legislation, security, innovative new AIoT use cases. Those are the things that we're really looking to promote and to have some of our partners come in and help amplify those areas and those topics. Some of the really innovative use cases with regards to smart cities, field services, those are all things that we have the ability to not only promote to our audience or help you to support your own. So let's talk about those. And again, please do contact me. And then I do want to mention one thing that we're getting ready to launch, and you're hearing it here first, and that is going to be our Pathfinder pitch. That is going to take place once a month on the first Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Central European Time. And it's an opportunity for you to come and meet with our go-to-market sales team members and do your pitch. Talk about your organization, your product, how our company, our team members can get involved with you, what your value proposition is. And so those are going to be happening, and they're going to be on a first come, first serve basis. But it's a really great opportunity to have a focused Cumulocity audience that will help bolster our joint go-to-market motions. And that will get you in front of a global audience, and then hopefully open doors for specific conversations to carry your message forward. And then we're excited about one of our first field marketing co-prospecting events that we're hosting with Lixian in the Netherlands. This is going to be a very fun opportunity to go out on a sailboat with some censoring from some of our device partners and have a really nice afternoon coming together, networking, no PowerPoints, no PowerPoint pitches, as we say, but really bring people together who talk the same talk and up-level some conversation, but also really see IoT in action. So it's a great prospecting event. It's a great event for existing customers to participate. And we're always willing to do these types of activities that, again, really fit in with your marketing strategy. So if you're interested, please contact myself or my colleague, Andreas Schopoven. Andreas works with our partners in EMEA, and the two of us work together to collaborate across the globe. So we're very excited. We're very much looking forward to seeing some of the output and encourage you to work with us as well, again, to help support your go-to-market marketing efforts. So with that, I think I'm going to be turning this now over to my colleague, Christian Duta, and he's got lots of good information on our device partner program.
Yes, that's true. Thanks, Natalie. So let's just hop over to the device partner view. So just to give you a little bit of a insight what happened this year already. So we've been very prominently active at the Hannover Fair the beginning of the year, and it's always great to see not only, let's say, some representation of partners just virtually on a website, but also in action, so to say, at the fair. So that was great to experience again. Also from my perspective, right, we had a great device wall again that we also used to have at the SPS last year, and this year again it was pretty successful, I would think, because there were 20 partners, 20 device partners actively represented with devices, and there was, let's say, a huge interest in these devices, as everyone kind of can relate to some different brands and use cases. So you saw a lot of people stopping by and checking out the devices, starting a conversation around it, because it just goes from PLCs to gateways to sensors, and is an interesting mix. So that was a great success, I would say. Also, next to the device wall, we've had one dedicated device partner stand with PS Systec joining our booth, and they represented their retrofitting targeted devices at the booth with a great real-life use case. They actually plugged in a popcorn vending machine that was present at the booth, and that was not planned, but it just worked. So it was a good demonstration of plug and play, and we used some other exhibitors' popcorn machine as an asset to be presented there, and we just created a little dashboard around it to show that it's that it can be very easy to retrofit assets. Also, we've had not only the device wall, but obviously the other partners present at the booth. So, and as IoT is all around assets and devices, even though these other booths were not directly filled with device partners, just the one was, there was 5 of the 10 booths had device partner hardware, right? So you have to show something at a demo, and half of them used actually our partner hardware. So I guess a very high visibility for all devices, device partners, etc. Yes, so just one example of the outcome. I was directly at the fair, for example, asked for one specific device, and that in the meantime converted into a project for our PS, but also a purchase order for the partner. So just a random example on what happens at a fair, right? It's hard to predict, but as there are many people seeing some good use cases and might relate to topics, they are asking questions, and stuff is happening. So what's next? I also, thanks, Natalie, I kind of stole your web branding updates slide layout a bit, and also included the certified device logo, how it previously looked, and how we rebranded that one. So just please make sure you're also using the new certified device logos. I know it's hard to really get rid of old branding on pages, but it's not a big effort, and we provide it also on the Partner Hub. Also, the certification document looks a bit more up to date now. Yes, what else? So, since or hopping into the perspective of a post carve-out situation that we have now. So since being carved out of the Software AG company, we've basically replaced all of our tooling, and of course the terms and conditions for the partner program were also enhanced, etc. So no non-commercial partner migrated from Software AG to Cumulocity GmbH. So it's about re-registering and renewing our existing device partnerships. A lot of partners have done it, not all. And please, review our registration process. We have it prominently at our website. And that just is a must if you want to continue the device partnership with Cumulocity. You just have to register as a partner. Once you've done it, you'll get access to the Partner Hub. And the Partner Hub is kind of the go-to place to exchange. And also, we've designed a specific area for the device partners that differs a bit from the other partner types. So partner directory, that's the same for all the partners. Of course, you can submit your company profile to make it publicly visible. That's quite easy to place your company information, but of course the device catalog entries. That's pretty unique for the device partner side of things. We've also got a form that you can use, submit it, and you can also just directly reach out to me. It should be quite simple, also via the schedule appointment function of our partner relationship tool. So various ways to get that information, but it definitely makes sense to review what is there publicly, and if there are changes, please let us know, because we want to have information that's up to date. And yeah, this is also why we have still the certification tool as kind of the only exception for tooling that remains the same. We continue to do it because it's proven, makes sense. It's low effort to recertify every year, but super valuable to see which integration is still there, is still maintained, etc. Also, we have a new learning platform introduced, plus our tech community is also new. So all tooling kind of was renewed. Okay, this is a view on our current device catalog. So you see the certified device logos, etc. Can filter on the features that were certified. And again, please double check if everything's up to date. Just let us know if we need to change something or add something. So the device catalog is actually kind of the result of the submitted information, right? What I've just asked you to do, like let me know if the entries are up to date, plus the certification partner tenants. So if you certified an integration, the certification results are automatically synced through the API of the partner tenant with our catalog, but the other static information, that's manual maintenance effort. Yeah, but that is, the setup was similar in the past, but the tooling just changed around it. And yes, very important, the green box, don't forget to retest after 365 days. So that's basically the mechanism to make sure everything's still working. And that's a great plus for customers, and that's also a great plus for you, because you're not surprised basically, because we recommend to retest it. You could even do it more often. You could include it into your testing pipeline, and that would be the ideal scenario, to just automatically execute these tests when deploying new integration releases. So that's kind of the target state. Just do it automatically and include it in regular integration tests. But the minimum requirement is to do it every year. Your partner tenants are actually all running on EU latest, so that means you're a bit ahead of what the customer sees and uses. So that's also a great way to make sure your compatibility doesn't break or anything, right? So it makes you sleep a bit better potentially that you're testing on the latest version. So, and just let's say brief recap on why we are doing this. Actually, the entire effort on the device partnership. That's because, ideally we have a plug and play experience for our customers, so we don't lose any time in new IoT projects, and that we can, let's say, not have partners or projects develop integrations that are only used by one customer, but actually reuse the integrations. And that's basically a low-hanging fruit. If you have an integration, there's a very little barrier in actually placing it or making it publicly available and talking about it. So FinEdge is becoming to be bigger and bigger in let's say, from a relevance perspective. A lot of customers are using it already in large-scale operations, and that's basically the reference framework we recommend. It gets you there quite fast, and target would be, let's say, if you don't have any reference integration, check out ThinEdge and develop it to a MVP stage so that it's embedded in the product, and you get a seamless experience from a customer perspective with reduced features, like, for example, just supporting measurements to start with. And that would be the typical path. Yes, so together, let's collaborate to enable good customer experiences. And there are a lot of good examples where that was successfully achieved already. Okay, and with that, I guess it's back to Bart again. So taking over the section for Keshav.
Yeah, normally Keshav would have done that, but as mentioned, he's ill, and so I'm taking over and doing the honors. So it's a short section talking about the implementation partners in the Experience Center update. So basically, and I think this is really important for our implementation partners, rest assured that we have a relentless focus on innovation, and we're really accelerating the rollout of new features. And so I want to drive your attention to our quarterly updates. We just had our Q3 update. We actually also announced that in our partner hub, and you can also find our announcement on LinkedIn, and you can watch it also on demand through our knowledge hub. And I really would urge you to have a look on those sessions with our product management team, where they explain all the exciting new things that we have in store in Cumulocity. So if you haven't done so, please visit, and we'll keep announcing those updates to you on a regular cadence. Good. And the other thing that I want to discuss is that one of these innovations that we're doing right now is together with, actually for one of our customers, Sony, in the domain of vision AI, but it has much broader implications, because basically what we're adding to Cumulocity right now is MLOps. And MLOps means that you can manage machine learning models on the edge. So what does it mean? If you have any edge AI capable device where you want to run a model, you can now onboard that on Cumulocity. You can start doing some data collection for that from that device. For instance, if you want to use that data sets for training, so you can push that to a training environment for training and fine tuning. Once you then have the trained model, you can use that for deployment and deploy that on the edge like you would normally deploy this to an IoT device for firmware updates or software updates. And then, of course, you can start taking the data stream out of that model and start analyzing and integrate it with your solution. We think it's a very interesting, new and exciting development. The MVP is available on GitHub. It's not yet public, but for our partners, we can make it accessible for an early release, and we would like you to urge you to do so. So, the way we have done that now particularly is together with Sony for the Sony-based IMX500 cameras. Why is that so interesting? If you now combine that? Well, traditional vision AI cameras, as you might know, they take a picture, they have to push the picture to the edge and probably to the cloud for further analysis. And then in the cloud, it can be analyzed. For instance, hey, if we want to recognize the object that's a cat, it takes a lot of bandwidth to move that picture around. It takes time, latency, it takes energy, and it might not be that some privacy laws are violated, because you could do a retro analysis of those pictures for other purposes than it was intended. Now, by doing it at the edge and being able to push that video model to the edge, but also doing the inferencing at the edge, it means now that you only have the data stream that you can push for analysis. And then you can start analyzing that data stream at any moment. And that means that you need less bandwidth, you have quicker latency because you have less energy, and you have a more secure privacy environment. So that's a really interesting use case, and it's opening up Vision AI for all kind of interesting opportunities. And that's where we get to the next point, is that we noticed that we have, well, two things. We have we are getting more and more engaged in experience centers of our partners. So, for instance, we just rolled out these kind of demos to centers of EY and Accenture in Italy already, with existing demos that we are doing. In this case, we're doing worker safety demos in this way. But we would love to engage wider with our partners on this topic. And so we're opening up this idea of using experience centers by creating a challenge. So if you have an experience center or a lab where you engage with your customers, and if you're interested to join this challenge, then please reach out to us through Partner Hub. We have there the form. You can reach out to us, and then we'll engage with you. So the program is quite simple. You'll get some cameras from us. That's our gift to you. Sony IMX-based 500 cameras we'll send to you. We'll go to an ideation session with your team. We figure out what, according to your audience and your ideas and your expertise, is the most interesting use case and innovative use case to build. Then we build that thing together, and that is then placed in your experience center. And the best solutions will win a prize. So we already have some existing teams that are joining in for this ideation and looking if they can create more interesting offerings. But enrollment is still open. So my ask to you, if you know your team that has access to an experience center where you want to do this, and if you're open for ideation and experimentation, then please reach out to us, and we are happy to engage. And with that, I'm moving over to the Q&A. So maybe Christian and Natalie, did we get any questions?
Well, I think one of the first questions that we have is, when are we going to do this again, Bart?
Okay, so it took 6 months to get here. We shouldn't wait that long. So I think a quarterly cadence would be best, Natalie.
I think that sounds good. And we talked a little bit about the partner listings and getting those completed and what have you. But any update on when those are actually going to go live, as people have put their effort into it? So when are they going to go live?
Yeah, so I was very optimistic and thought, oh, we can do that in a week. It seemed that there was some technical difficulties with our website, and it took some more time. Christian, you are completely into this. So what's your feeling on this?
Yeah, so I think we reached an essential milestone with moving the partners from the old technology to the new listing. So I guess it will be happening next week, right? So it's so expect the device directory to be live and visible on our website definitely next week.
Yeah, and for me that's the first stage. I love the new listing. If I looked at it, because you can already connect to it. It's only not yet reachable through our website, but if you know the URL, you can go there directly already. I think it looks much more professional, much more slick and understandable. It will also help us to better promote you, and also it will help us to really structure lead follow-up. Because the people that want to connect will be able to do so by a call to action button where we are informed, but you are also informed properly. And this is a bit of self-service as well, so it's not depending on any resources of us, but you can improve it as far as you want it, enrich it with all kinds of use cases, resources, media, and that kind of collateral, and really make it a rich engagement.
Yeah, I think it's a great tool, and probably one of the best capabilities I've seen in my experience working with partner organizations. It's a great opportunity for you as a partner to really explain the value proposition, but also, pitch your product, get you some additional visibility as well. So that's it. We definitely encourage you to complete it if you haven't. There aren't any other questions. So with that, Bart, I'm going to let you kind of recap where we've been today and turn it back to you.
Yeah, time is going fast if you're having fun. But basically what we talked about, I think, is, we started on this, we embarked on this journey with Cumulocity, and we're completely excited because we think the moment is now. This is the perfect wave. And we discussed the topics of where AI, legislation, and this connected ecosystems are coming together, and why existing customers that started and embarked with their own development now have to depreciate their first generation platform and have to buy something new. And then I think going for something off the shelf is very logical. So we talked about the changes in the partner program. We started off in the beginning with a kind of an opportunistic way, saying, look, this is our partner program. We looked at it. We saw some of the quirks and said that should be done easier. And taking the opportunity in a half year to streamline it and make it easier for partners to enroll, but also to engage commercially now with us and really start building leads and deal pipeline. And then Natalie, I think thanks for that marketing update. It was very clear. And for me, there's one thing sticking out. Let's create a joint content. I mean, what you have created looks great. And let's start promote it and use that also in webinars and join us in these kind of communication opportunities. We have the budget available, so let's engage together. Also, Christian, I think thanks for your update. And I think you did a great update on this, renewing actually the device program. It was already there, but it got a whole fresh upgrade, I think.
One summary from my side. Quick recap on what happened this year so far is that I already saw an increase in the requests for devices. Right, that was definitely a new dynamic happening in the organization. So I counted a lot more requests for devices and facilitated the exchange. And that's kind of the target, to have some relevant partnerships that can support us with actually executing on the customer cases. And also SAP partnership contributed to that. And all of these requests come from are scattered around the globe. So this is a kind of the nature to these global partnerships. And this is why it's essentially very important to have also global device partnerships. And I think there are a lot of real good use cases that we cover already. And personally, I would hope to see more success cases on our new partner page tool. So it would be great to place already the joint customer success stories on the device partner pages to really see, okay, impact was achieved here and there. That's kind of missing right now still a bit from my perspective, but there's a lot of potential there. So that's just kind of my
No, absolutely. That's just a starting point. We have an innovation agreement with the company behind the partner listing. So we'll start focusing also on promoting more on solutions. So we'll see some innovations at that side for sure going forward. And your remark indeed about how we get now an influx of customers and prospects requesting what kind of device should I buy, what can you actually advise us, is also, I think, a very good example of how this device program is paying off, because it really helps us to position certified partners. And that's what we wanted to achieve. Yeah, and then finally, that call to action for any customer or partner that has an experience center, please join our challenge. We would love to send you some cameras and build those innovative use cases and promote those together. Anything from you, Christian and Natalie, to close off with? Any last remarks?
No, I'd just like to thank everybody for attending, and look for the recording. We'll be posting it in intro and sending you a link as well. So we're very excited, if you can't tell, with all of the building that has been done this first half of the year. And we really look forward to continuing that success, telling our stories and aligning even closer as we move towards the second half, hard to believe, of 2025 and into 2026. So we'll look forward to seeing you throughout the days and the weeks ahead, but we'll look forward to seeing you again in the next 90 days when we come back together for additional updates. So thank you for your participation. Thank you for joining. And thank you to my colleagues, Bart and Christian, for their time as well. We'll see you on the next time.
Yes, let's connect and innovate.